The Jersey Devil sightings, creepy encounters with the legendary creature in the Pine Barrens of New Jersey. The Pine Barrens of New Jersey is a vast, tangled wilderness that has inspired legends for centuries. Amid the towering pines and dense undergrowth, locals have long spoken in hushed tones about a creature unlike any other. The Jersey Devil, said to be a winged beast with glowing red eyes, hooves like a goat, and a blood-curdling scream that echoes through the night. The Jersey Devil has become one of America's most enduring and terrifying cryptids. The stories passed down through generations warn travelers and hunters alike. Never venture too deep into the Barrens after dark, or you might encounter the devil itself. The origin of the Jersey Devil legend dates back to the early 18th century, to the story of a woman named Mother Leeds. According to folklore, Mother Leeds had 12 children, and when the 13th was born, it was a horrifying creature with hooves and a tail. It screamed so loud it shook the walls of their home before flying into the night, disappearing into the woods. Since then, countless sightings and strange occurrences have been reported throughout the Pine Barrens, each adding layers of fear and mystery to the legend. In the summer of 1998, a series of chilling encounters brought the Jersey Devil back into the spotlight. John Peters, a seasoned hunter who had grown up on the edge of the Barrens, recalled the night that changed everything for him. He had been hunting deer with his son near an old logging trail deep in the forest when an unnatural silence fell over the area. The usual chorus of crickets and birds vanished, replaced by an eerie stillness that pressed down on their shoulders. Suddenly, John heard a distant, unearthly scream that pierced the night like a banshee's wail. Before he could react, a massive shadow passed overhead, blotting out the moonlight. When John looked up, he caught a glimpse of leathery wings and glowing red eyes that locked onto his for a terrifying moment before vanishing into the darkness. Other locals soon reported similar experiences. A group of campers told of waking to loud, guttural growls and the sound of something huge moving through the trees just beyond their tents. One witness described seeing a figure with the head of a goat, wings spread wide and eyes burning like embers, stalking the edge of their campfire light. Pets in the nearby towns vanished mysteriously, and strange hoof-like tracks appeared in the soft earth around properties bordering the forest. Law enforcement and wildlife officials tried to explain away the sightings, attributing them to bears, large birds, or hoaxes. But the residents of the Pine Barrens were convinced that something supernatural roamed their woods, something ancient and malevolent. In the early 2000s, paranormal investigators arrived in the area, drawn by the growing reports. They set up infrared cameras and recording devices, hoping to capture evidence of the Jersey Devil. One night, a team recorded a series of unexplainable noises, high-pitched screeches and guttural snarls that could not be matched to any known animal. Their cameras caught fleeting images of a shadowy figure darting between the trees, moving with unnatural speed and grace. Yet, despite the evidence, skepticism remained. Many dismissed the Jersey Devil as a myth, a legend born from superstition and fear of the unknown. But for those who lived near the Pine Barrens, the fear was real. One of the most terrifying encounters occurred in 2012, when a young woman named Emily Sanders went hiking alone on an unmarked trail. She was an experienced outdoorswoman, but had always respected the warnings about the Jersey Devil. That day, she ignored her instincts. As dusk fell, Emily noticed strange markings on the trees, deep gouges that looked like claw marks, and a faint, sulfuric smell in the air. Then came the screams, a horrible blood-curdling shriek that made her blood run cold. She spun around and saw a figure perched atop a fallen tree, its eyes glowing, its wings folded, but twitching. Emily froze, unable to move or scream as the creature stared at her, its gaze filled with something dark and ancient. After what felt like an eternity, it spread its wings and vanished into the night. Emily's story made headlines and renewed interest in the Jersey Devil. Despite warnings, thrill-seekers and paranormal enthusiasts flocked to the Barrens, hoping to glimpse the creature for themselves. In recent years, reports have continued. Nighttime hikers have reported feeling unseen eyes watching them, strange footprints that don't match any animal, and unexplainable sounds echoing through the trees. Hunters have found their equipment mysteriously tampered with, and some have sworn they were chased by something with incredible speed and agility. The Jersey Devil remains elusive, a shadowy presence that embodies the mystery and fear of the Pine Barrens. Whether it is a supernatural being, a cryptid undiscovered by science, or simply a product of local legend and imagination, its grip on the region's folklore is undeniable. If you ever find yourself near the dense forests of New Jersey's Pine Barrens after dark, remember the warnings whispered by generations before. Beware the glowing eyes, the eerie screams, and the winged figure that stalks the shadows. You might just become the next chapter in the legend of the Jersey Devil. The haunting of Devil's Tower. Strange disappearances and ghostly legends in Wyoming. Rising abruptly from the flat plains of northeastern Wyoming stands Devil's Tower, a massive rock formation that has fascinated Native American tribes, explorers, and travelers for centuries. The tower's jagged cliffs and otherworldly appearance have made it a place steeped in myth and mystery. Among the most chilling stories associated with this landmark are reports of ghostly apparitions, unexplained disappearances, and strange phenomena that have left visitors terrified and baffled. The legend of Devil's Tower is rooted deeply in Native American folklore. Many tribes consider it sacred ground, calling it Bear's Lodge or Bear's Tippy, telling stories of giant bears clawing at the rock's sides. But alongside these traditional tales, darker stories have emerged over the years, tales of restless spirits trapped within the tower's rocky embrace, souls unable to find peace. Visitors often speak of an oppressive atmosphere, a sense of being watched, and sudden drops in temperature, even on warm days. In the summer of 2001, a group of friends from Denver decided to camp near the base of Devil's Tower. What was meant to be a weekend of hiking, stargazing, and adventure quickly turned into a nightmare they would never forget. On the first night, as they sat around their campfire sharing stories, one of them, Mark, felt an uneasy chill and saw what he described as faint shadows moving just beyond the trees. When he mentioned it, the others laughed it off as tricks of the light. But as the night deepened, strange things began to happen. One by one, the group started experiencing eerie sounds, low moans, whispers carried by the wind, and the unmistakable sound of scraping claws against rock. Their campfire flickered wildly, despite the still air, and several reported seeing flickers of light darting between the trees. Sleep was elusive, replaced by a growing dread that something unseen was drawing closer. The next morning, the group found their campsite disturbed. Their supplies were scattered, and strange markings resembling claw scratches were etched into the trunks of nearby trees. More disturbingly, their friend Mark was missing, with no trace left behind. Search parties scoured the area, but found nothing, and no explanation could be offered for his disappearance. News of the incident spread, and it wasn't long before other visitors began sharing similar accounts. A lone hiker claimed to have seen a translucent figure standing atop the tower at dawn, staring down with glowing eyes. Several climbers told of sudden drops in temperature and the sensation of being watched by unseen eyes. Some spoke of hearing desperate cries for help, echoing from deep within the rock formations, only to find themselves alone and disoriented. In 2007, park rangers documented a series of strange occurrences. Equipment malfunctioned inexplicably. Radios picked up static and voices when no one was transmitting, and wildlife behaved erratically. One ranger reported seeing a glowing figure moving swiftly across the summit at twilight, disappearing before he could get a closer look. The haunting of Devil's Tower seems to be tied to a series of unexplained disappearances over the decades. From hikers who vanish without a trace, to climbers who suddenly abandon their routes in panic, the pattern suggests a malevolent force at work. Some believe the tower is a gateway between worlds, a place where spirits are trapped, or where something otherworldly emerges to claim victims. Skeptics argue the terrain is dangerous, and that the disappearances are due to accidents or wildlife. But the locals and many visitors are convinced the tower holds dark secrets that science cannot explain. They warn that after dark, the rock's eerie silence is broken by ghostly howls and the sound of unseen claws scraping against stone. One particularly chilling account comes from Lisa Reynolds, a wildlife photographer who ventured to the tower alone in 2014. While setting up her equipment at dusk, Lisa noticed a sudden drop in temperature that made her breath visible. As she focused her camera on the tower's summit, She glimpsed a pale, shadowy figure standing motionless among the rocks. Before she could react, the figure V